Hi everyone, it's Madalyn with Trans Family Voices. I'm sorry the lighting is a little bit mysterious right now. I'm recording later than normal. I'm recording at night. So, anyway, hi. It's week 7 here with Trans Family Voices, and this week we're talking about fears that we had with our partner transitioning and things like that. So. I think for me, going into the whole transitioning process, I didn't really know a lot about transitioning or anything really about the process or anything like that. And I met Dylan when he was kind of already starting the process, at least, figuring things out or trying to start that process. So for me, I didn't have a lot of fears initially. But I feel like I had a lot of fears in reverse. So as things progressed, certain things would come up and I would get nervous about them, or they would just be so new that I wouldn't really know exactly how to feel about it. Initially, it was really just the fear of the unknown. Not knowing anyone who was trans, not really being able to talk to anybody, just not understanding the whole process really was initially, those fears. And then as we kind of progressed and Dylan pursued transitioning and tea and everything that kind of goes along with it, we ran into a lot of obstacles, or he ran into a lot of obstacles, finding a doctor, getting a letter, knowing exactly the process to go through, how to not pay $1 million for tea. And so those, then I had fears that it would never happen for him, that he would never be able to really go through these steps, and it was just disappointment after disappointment, and that was really hard on him, and just the fear of, will this happen, and just really wanting it for him and trying to be there for him when it didn't work out, but it was definitely traumatic. I'm referring to my notes in case you see me keep looking over here. Then as he was referring to himself with masculine pronouns and using the male restroom and going by Dylan, but before he was on T, I had a lot of fears about his safety. We lived in Kentucky at the time, and while we had really wonderful friends and supporters, the area that we were in wasn't necessarily the most progressive or accepting or understanding. And in the beginning, I think that he was questioned a lot. I would get nervous for him. I would get nervous for him when he would go in the male restroom. Even when we were together, I would get nervous. I had a lot of fears just for his safety and his physical safety, but also just his kind of mental well-being, how he was doing with everything, and that kind of ties in with the next point. Dylan comes from Pentecostal missionary family. He was born in Taiwan, and he lived there for a large part of his life, and his family is there doing missionary work, and so I hadn't, obviously hadn't really had that much contact with his family, but they were very disapproving of, the other changes that he had gone through before he came to identify as transgender, and they didn't understand it, they didn't believe in it, and so in this next step, I knew, that it would be incredibly hard, and, with them, but on him too, because potentially he was looking at losing his family, and I didn't really know what to do. I mean, what do you do when someone is losing their family? And everything they've grown up with, and you know, I couldn't even really imagine it. This week is getting me emotional. Sorry. But I feared for him, not that he wouldn't be strong enough, because I know him and he is the strongest person that I've ever met, but just emotionally what that would do. I have an incredibly supportive family, and they're incredibly supportive of Dylan, but I know that that doesn't replace his family and his, his childhood and what he grew up with. And maybe we'll talk more about family some other time, but yeah, I feared a lot for that. And a lot of those fears came true. So, yeah. Anyway, kind of the last point, the last fear is kind of the unknown. And I really liked what Meg said in her video about not living in the future and not living in fear of what, might happen, but really loving your partner and living in your relationship in the moment and in that day. And I think that's something that I definitely need to really take into consideration. I think specific details about Dylan and my relationship and our past is probably not something that I'll go into in videos, but I've had a lot of fears and I've had to deal with a lot of things, as has he. Lots of changes, lots of things that we didn't necessarily anticipate in our relationship coming to be, and things that I didn't expect, and all that stuff. But I think, just learning to work through things and definitely being thankful for and happy for what we have today, and not not fearing what's going to happen tomorrow is a great way to look at it. So yeah, kind of a serious topic this week, but it's Friday, and everybody be safe and have a wonderful weekend, and check us out at Trans Family Voices next week. All right, bye.